Everybody, and welcome back to the Atari Guy. Now, I announced a while back on multiple social media platforms that I would be redoing the name and the branding of this channel. And so originally, because I had no idea absolutely what to call this channel, I went to AI to ask it what would be a good name to rebrand this channel. And one of the names that it really, really liked was Boot Sequence. And I had started rebranding it. I even went and changed the website, which was a pain in the rear end to do. And then I looked it up on YouTube, which I should have done first before going and rebranding everything. And as it turns out, there are multiple other channels named Boot Sequence. And so I mentioned another time that I would consider rebranding the channel, renaming the channel because of how close it was to the 8-Bit Guy. And that was both intentional and, well, it was intentional to copy off of his name, and then I also made the logo kind of similar to his, so I decided to change it. And Boot Sequence actually was a pretty good naming, but in the end that didn't work out, so now it is Matthew Schreiner Computing. And so that is the name and the branding that I have kind of resorted to since Boot Sequence was taken. So currently, and I was going to make this announcement about last week because they had done a lot of the rebranding already, so I don't know exactly which social media platforms have been rebranded, but YouTube is kind of the first one to get rebranded, so it is now on YouTube, the Matthew Schreiner Computing, and so this is an official end to the Atari Guy. Although the channel and videos will still continue just under a new name. So I will be working on getting Twitter and Facebook and Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, the website. Um, all those things will be updated, and Patreon will eventually be updated. I haven't really looked and used Patreon in a while, but also I am currently working on redoing the studio, so I currently have a different new cabinet here for storage. The Apple monitor that I don't know if it was ever in any videos, but the Apple monitor that I have will be going over there, and there will be another Apple computer here with, so it'll be a dual monitor setup. I've got an iMac that'll be connected to the display, and that'll be running. I'm gonna try and get one of the patch softwares to work so I can run a more modern version of macOS on the older computer. Besides that, as you can see, I still have the Commodore 64 is up here, so this monitor will remain, and it will remain with the Commodore 64 for the most part, because it will be used for other computers and other software. As I mentioned, I prefer CRT TVs, and I do have a larger CRT TV before I had the tiny little Sony that was featured in other videos, and it's a good TV, but that one will be elsewhere. That one I actually have connected to a Fire Stick, so I can watch more modern TV, but this is what I use for the Commodore, and then I do have a different monitor that I can use for like VCF. Hopefully, I will be back there this year. I think when it asked for brand name, I did put the Atari Guy, and that's because at the time, earlier in June, when the registration happened, literally it was days after the registration for tables that I decided to change it. So I'm hoping again this year I get picked to have a table at VCF like I did last year and display some of the fun Commodore and other things that will be coming later on in videos. Otherwise, that is kind of this big channel announcement that I will be rebranding the channel. It will no longer be the Atari Guy, it will be Matthew Schreiner Computing. So that's it for today, and I will see you next time.